Get the Intel, the podcast meant for those of us trying to find out what the hell is going on in the field. Here we discuss tools, techniques, and approaches that you can implement to streamline operations and let you focus on your craft.
Hello, Chad Gill here. I am the host of the Get the Intel podcast, where I talk with leaders in contracting, management, and really anyone helping us do business better. This episode is brought to you by Laminin Coach. Laminin is a business coaching company with a focus on contractors in and around construction. We not only help with proposing solutions and methods, but we implement them in your business as well. After all, good ideas are not useful until they're implemented. So if you're ready to elevate your business, visit us at laminincoach.com to see our full range of services. So joining me today is Dario Baldoni. He is the VP of Marketing and Technology at the Concrete Countertop Solutions. Dario's journey is one of extraordinary growth. He began as the company's first full-time employee and played a pivotal role in its evolution into a multimillion-dollar industry leader. Today, Concrete Countertop Solutions stands as the leader in the competitive realm of concrete countertops, thanks in small part to Dario's vision, dedication, and expertise. So, welcome, man. That's it's always nice to be a pivotal role. That means you cannot take vacation.
Basically, yeah.
That's code for you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, well, the intro made me sound impressive, so I appreciate that. But it's been a fun journey, honestly, from the beginning. So happy to talk more about it.
So tell me a little bit about what you guys do and kind of how you got into it.
Sure. So Concrete Countertop Solutions, obviously, we, do something with concrete countertops. We started it actually, the whole company started was my father's idea. He was a general contractor for 30 plus years, attending, building shows, trade shows. He's always go to World of Concrete, stuff like that. And noticed, there were these classes for concrete countertops, and they were always the first ones sold out, difficult to get into. I mean, this is like going back 15 years now. It was relatively new on the scene. And he attended one. And back then it was all prefab. So precast, you template the, cabinets for the countertop, you build a mold, build the countertop upside down in your shop, transport it. A lot of work, a lot of heavy lifting, not easy for one man to do. So that's when a light bulb went off. There should be an easier way to do this. Why can't I cast them in place? Was his main thought. Well, you could, but now you're building lumber forms. You're probably screwing into the cabinets, or you're restricted on different edge details that you can do, and there wasn't a lot of resources at the time for how to do it. So he came up with a form, which is now the Z Counterform brand. It's a PVC snap away forming system. So actually what you do is you just put 1/2-inch backer board on top of your cabinets. You take these forms, they're sold in 8-foot sections. You cut them on site, so just with a miter saw, 45 your corners. Build the whole form right there on top of the cabinets, pour your concrete, and then the next day you can come back and you actually just snap the form off to remove it. So that's where it all started with that idea, and that first form, that first prototype. Kind of took it to some trade shows and got some general interest, but didn't know where to go from there. And then that's where I came in. So I was just graduating college at the time. Nothing to do with the concrete industry or construction industry. I mean, I grew up in it. I helped on his framing crews. That was my high school jobs. But I was into computer science, so that's the route I was going to go.
Anything but the trade. Right?
Yeah. The funny thing is he always said, Baldoni Construction, that was his company at the time. It'll die with me. Basically, I don't want you in this line of work. But here I am, and not that that's exactly what I do, but I was, I kind of came on at that time. We built a website. It was kind of one of those products where it was like, all right, how are we going to sell this? Everybody's starting to sell stuff online. This was back in like 2012. So a website seemed like the obvious route, but then how do you reach the right people? And I would say we got lucky in a sense, but honestly, the our best marketing tool at the time was YouTube. YouTube was in its infancy then, at least compared to what it is now.
Yeah.
You didn't have all these influencers and YouTube personalities and stuff like that. So, but what you did have is people who were still passionate about DIY, who were researching how to do different things. And one of the first places they would go was YouTube. So, and pretty quickly they started to gain some traction, and then it just kind of exploded from there.
Yeah, it's nothing like seeing it happen. It's just videos are such a much better format for conveying, especially DIY stuff. Like there's some guys with epoxy countertops that just, they are just loads and loads of videos. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of, we've gotten into that world a little bit too. The epoxy countertops. It's cool, but
yeah, they're coming. So when you were kind of putting that all together, did you find that you were reaching the right audience, or how did you target the right audience?
That's a good question. So at first we thought our audience was just contractors. Like that's who we wanted to get in front of. And what we found pretty quickly was people were just buying the forms off of our website, and then they'd call us, well, what concrete do I use? Where do I get it? What sealer do I use? Where do I get it? How can I color it? And then that's when the light bulb clicked that these, a lot of these people are homeowners, avid DIYers, just, weekend warriors, if you will. So we should kind of cater to them, and we should help this group out and see where it goes. So we did. We kind of started building a one-stop shop. We made a couple, strategic partnerships with manufacturers in the industry, people who can, tool blenders who could make us our own concrete mixes, kind of designed around our own, specifications for countertops, and then, people who make coatings and sealers and all of that. And yeah, we just grew from there organically. Basically, every time somebody asked, well, where do I get that? Well, that was a sign that, we should probably sell it. So yeah, exactly.
And that's what's awesome is like not only the molds come along, but the concrete itself, like the bag mixes and stuff like that. Like when I was doing concrete countertops, I went from, mixing them in a mortar mixer, customizing my mix and, PVA fibers, all this kind of stuff, up to GFRC and spraying them up in huge panels. I was precast, like you said, and more than once, I will have to admit, I was supposed to be making it upside down and went to the site to find out I made it right side up. That's just
yeah.
Not bad not bad if it's an island. Bad if it's not.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, just the technology of the actual mix is one of the things that's just crazy how far it's come.
Yeah, it really has. It's been cool to be a part of. You brought up GFRC. That's definitely geared more towards a professional, and we're getting into that market as well now. So there's just a lot of different avenues you could go. It's been cool. Like I said, when we started, we didn't know which way it would go. And here, we kind of had this explosion of interest from the DIY and just handy person's community. But then as we've grown, well, it's how do we, we want those customers that have better attention. Like the DIYer, they might have a project once every 5 years. So, they're not going to be a return customer. So how do we get into that contractor market? So then we had to tailor our strategy a little bit. Well, how do you reach those people? There's still the targeted online marketing, but trade shows were really successful for us in the beginning and kind of still are. So I just got back from World of Concrete last week. That's an incredible show of industry professionals. You can't just, I feel like you can't look at it as a narrow lens. And we certainly haven't. We've tried to tailor the strategy to the audience. So yeah, that's kind of how we've done it.
So you hear, as a contractor, we would hear all these times like, man, you got to do social media, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like,
Mhm.
what do you say to contractors? Like, okay, I want to market. Like everybody's saying I should do social media. How do you even get into that?
Yeah, I mean, social media has been awesome for us. I would say if you're a contractor looking to grow to your audience, it's kind of an easy place to go. One of my biggest recommendations would be take the time and take photos of your work. Hire a photographer, a local photographer, to go back and take photos of your work. It's insane to me, these guys, doing this awesome level, whatever it may be, custom cabinetry, finish work, tile work. And, I'm like, they tell me about it. Oh, I built this awesome countertop. It's got, uh, fiber optics in it, and we polished it. We did some crazy stencil, whatever it may be. And, oh, can I see a picture of it? And they pull up their cell phone, scroll back. There's junk all over the countertop. Like it's like
The
this
day they
is
were
this
leaving,
is an
yeah.
amazing piece of work. Why go back, take good photos, and use those to market your work. That nothing is going to sell your work better than seeing the kind of the finished product and the level.
Even not even a professional photographer. I mean, mobile phones now are, I mean,
There,
it's an
yeah.
amazing tool. It's just a matter of you got to ride back by there, when,
Hmm.
but wait until the job is finished, ride back by and just see, hey, can I get a photo of it?
Exactly.
And that's
Clean
always,
it up, stage it even, make it look nice. And then, yeah, take some good photos and then share those online. You'll be surprised how, kind of quickly they'll spread on social media when it's something attractive. Because once people start clicking on it or start sharing it, then, the algorithms catch on to that and it kind of explodes. So, I mean, every year we run a photo contest. So we ask our customers to send us in pictures of their work, and then we present them all. We let people vote on them, and we get a year's worth of photos that we can now use on our social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. We'll repost all of it, and it's the best selling tool we have is look at what our customers have been able to achieve with our products. So although that's a little bit different than a contractor, it's still look at what I'm able to achieve, So yeah, that would
that's
be.
nice too, because share them with, if you're working for a general contractor, share them with the general contractor, because he's
Mhm.
going to show them, odds are he's desperate for photos as well, because everybody's making the same mistake, and he'll share those with his clients, and then you'll pick up more work that way too. It's an easy, inexpensive lead
Yeah.
generation tool that I think, people are often looking for that special silver bullet. You're like, it's the
Mhm.
simple, easy things that just happen over time.
Yeah, and I think people with social media tend to make it a little more complicated, or they're a little intimidated by it because they don't know how to get started. But it really shouldn't be that difficult. Honestly, take take pictures of things that are pretty, and people will gravitate towards them. So yeah.
Take pictures of things that are pretty. Maybe things you've made, but if not, things that are pretty.
Yeah, anything really, but no, probably you should stick to things that you've made.
Right. It's like here's a beautiful sunset, and I
Yeah.
made good countertops. This is outdated, but thanks for checking it out. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Well, man, it sounds like you guys are really going in. You said you're branching out. You're going further now with epoxy tops, and I guess I'm sure there's polyaspartics, and there's an array of different products coming out.
Hmm.
How do you guys stay on top of that and just keep trying things?
Yeah, that's a good. So we do have, although it's small, we have a little R&D arm, where we continuously are testing new products. Sometimes it's products that we're specifically trying to develop for a specific use case. Other times it's just, we've been having problems with this polyurethane sealer, this coating. Let's try a different manufacturer. Let's test this. We've heard good things about this. We just, you know, it's always evolving, especially in the sealer and coating industry. They basically took away solvents, 5-10 years ago, and everything kind of went to crap, and now,
but it's the countertop industry, because you're like, but they stain.
Yeah, exactly. But it's come a long way. So we do, we just try to stay ahead of it as much as we can. Yeah, I guess that probably answers that. But.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, man, I think that's, if there's like one tip or trick, I think the one you got there is take photos of your work and post them. And photos, not the day you finished it, but when you go back. I mean, I actually even heard from contractors, like, they're reluctant to call a customer because they haven't heard anything. So no news is good news. They don't want to go back to a site and kind of like, oh, they're going to pick it apart or find something they want me to fix. But they're going to have a problem with it. They're going to have a problem with it no matter what. So go back, photo. People like showing off what they have, and get that thing posted.
And the other tip I would say there for, like, a local contractor trying to attract local business, although that's not what I spend most of my time focusing on. People, it's not that difficult anymore to have a decently good looking website, and those photos come into play there. But think about if you were a customer, and depending on whatever you do, how are people going to find you? Like, where they're going to start? They're probably going to start on Google, right? And they're going to type in, decorative concrete contractor in whatever your area is, or cabinet installer in this area, roofer in this area. So, try and it really does behoove you to have a website that at least looks decent. It doesn't have to be this crazy robust thing, but you can go on like Wix or Squarespace. It's relatively inexpensive. If you're completely afraid of technology, you can go on Fiverr.com and pay somebody $100 to build you a pretty nice looking website, pretty inexpensively hosted. You might pay like $20 a month to have it hosted with your own URL. Then you can have your own email address at your URL. Makes you look more professional. And it definitely goes a long way, because everybody now, I mean, besides references, which are still obviously, probably one of the best ways you're going to grow. But if you're looking for a completely new clientele, you have to have some sort of presence online. There's just, there's no other way people are going to find you.
Yeah, you're missing the whole crowd if you're not, without a doubt. Well, man, I think that's great information. And, so yeah, absolutely. And you guys' website is concretecountertopsolutions.com, and we'll put a link in the notes and stuff like that. And like I said, kind of branch out and get into more stuff, more things. And I really appreciate you meeting with us. And, we'll kind of keep following the countertop industry. It's a pet hobby of mine. It was almost an addiction. I'm glad I got out of it, but I'm sitting here looking at my pool thinking, I do need to put a countertop outside. But my wife would have a fit if I tried to build my own again.
Now you know a guy. I could help you out.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then I'll take pictures and post them. And then I'll be in the same problem I had before.
Yeah. Then you'll be in the countertop business.
Oh, goodness, man. Yeah. It's like the mob. I finally got out. Let me see if I can, do this for a bit. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Awesome, Chad. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to Get the Intel. We'll see you next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.